Hi everybody, how are you? It's Tara here from TaraAllenHealth.com, and I'm here to discuss coconut oil, this newly controversial food. I feel like it's always something, right? And the last 2 weeks or so, coconut oil has been getting a bad rap, and then having people defend it, so there's been a lot of back and forth. I don't know if you've seen this in your news feed or you've read some of the articles, or maybe you're hearing about this for the first time right here. Either way, I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. I'm going to try to challenge myself to discuss this in about 10 minutes or less. So sit tight or come back for the replay, and let's talk all about coconut oil and see if it's healthy or not healthy. So first of all, why is this coming up now? Well, about mid-June, so a couple of weeks ago now, USA Today published an article called, and I have my notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I want to get everything in. So the exact name of the article was "Coconut Oil Isn't Healthy, It's Never Been Healthy." Okay, so in my opinion, this is sensationalism at its best, and it's downright irresponsible journalism at its worst. And I get it, because controversy sells, hot titles sell and all of that. I totally get that, but I do believe that the field of nutrition is such a fluid and changing field to begin with, and it's a little bit confusing. It can be a little bit confusing. I don't think that we should be adding any more confusion to people that are just trying to do the right thing and feel like they can never keep up with the latest research. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Basically, on top of the fact that it's a fluid and changing field, nutrition, there's also a lot of conflict of interest that is going on, okay? So as an example, there's a rather large cereal company that pays a lot of money to large organizations to possibly slant some research in one direction or another, maybe favoring carbs over fat because of their products. Cereal is mostly carbs. So, you have to kind of take everything with a grain of salt. Where is this research coming from? Who did the funding for it? And sometimes you have to really peel back a bunch of layers before you find out who was behind the funding, because they don't always make that so obvious either. So basically, this originally came from the American Heart Association. Okay, I'm not getting into who funded it, but I'm just talking about the research was done by the American Heart Association, linking coconut oil to heart disease. And when you take a step back, it was really looking at the fact that coconut oil is a saturated fat, and they're saying that it causes heart disease. So is this true? Let's get to the bottom of it. So coconut oil is largely saturated fat. We do need saturated fat. Oh, sorry, my little minion is here, so it's okay, buddy. We do need saturated fat for so many things for good health. So every cell membrane in our body uses it. Our brain needs lots and lots of this fat. Many of our hormones, so our sex hormones, which control more than just sex, of course, but and what else? Oh, just to absorb our fat-soluble vitamins. So vitamins such as A, D, E, and K are all fat-soluble, so they need a little bit of fat to help us to be able to utilize those vitamins as well. So fat, at least a little bit, is good for us. We need it. Now, if you're on a diet that's high in processed foods, processed sugars in particular, saturated fat becomes a bit more unhealthy, okay, a bit more dangerous. So think about things like a bagel with butter, a donut, don't kill the messenger here. What else? Like processed crackers, let's say, with a lot of cheese. Anything that combines very processed carbs or sugars with saturated fat is really the most dangerous, because what happens is the processed foods create inflammation in our body, and our body creates cholesterol from saturated fat. The cholesterol comes by and patches up the areas of inflammation. So think of cholesterol like a Band-Aid. So, your blood vessels are here, you've got a little inflammation, cholesterol comes and patches up that inflammation. And then another Band-Aid is put on top, and another and another. So you end up having this buildup of plaque, which leads to heart disease. So this is, blockages. If you think of somebody saying that they had an artery blockage, this is what happens. So it's the inflammation that then recruits cholesterol. It's the combination. That's really the most dangerous. So let's take a step back and talk about what a portion size would be of fat, okay? So if you hold up your thumb, this is the amount, the size, roughly you can say length and width and thickness of a portion of fat, any type of fatty food, okay? You can see it's small. The good news is it kind of scales up and down with you. So if you're a bigger person, you probably have a bigger thumb, and therefore you can have a bigger serving of fat. And if you're a tiny person, your thumb is smaller, and your serving size of fat then would naturally be smaller. Women on average need about 4 to 6 serving sizes of fatty foods per day, depending on their individual metabolism, their activity level, that type of thing. And men, typically, it's about 6 to 8 a day. And this is all kinds of fat, not just saturated. So if you're thinking about your plant-based fats, I know coconut oil is a plant, but typically other saturated fats actually come from animals. So other plant-based fats could be from nuts or beans or avocado, that type of thing. So all in a day's worth, you're going to need about 4 to 6 for women servings, thumb-sized servings of fat in a day, and for men it's about 6 to 8. So if you think about it that way, really our problem is more about portion sizes and the other things that we're taking in our diet, rather than just if we're having a little bit of coconut oil here or there. If you are, again, sorry, my son's right here. If you are drinking this stuff by the glass, even if it's by the shot glass, obviously that's not going to be good, right? If you have just one type of food, even if you just ate only blueberries, even if they're healthy, you're going to get sick if you only eat blueberries. So it's the same thing with coconut oil. If you are taking in too much, you are likely to have some health consequences. So pay attention to portion sizes. Now, let's flip it over and talk about some of the benefits, though, of coconut oil. I feel like I need to defend it a little bit. So coconut oil raises our HDL. This is our high-density lipoproteins. This is what's considered and labeled the good type of cholesterol. And it contains MCT oils, which is medium chain triglycerides. So this is a very special length of fats that easily goes into our cells and creates very usable energy. So it's more likely that it's going to get used up for energy and not stored. So that's an excellent thing. Jagger, you want to come join us? Yeah, you want to come say hi? Yeah? Come on. Sorry, guys. You want to come say hi? Okay. Here's Jagger. Say hi. Hi. Can I finish this talk with everybody? Yeah, okay, cool. So what was I saying? Oh, and it's also, so the medium chain triglycerides is a very good source of energy, usable energy for us. It also has antibacterial, you want to go down? Antiviral and antifungal properties. And it contains something called lauric acid, which is very good for our immune system, okay? And as a side note, I am a breastfeeding mama, and breast milk is about, I believe, 24% lauric acid, and it's thought to be for the immune boosting properties of it that we pass along to the baby. So lauric acid is a very good thing for us. So what's the lesson? What's the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. Where's my Moana fans here? I know I can't be the only parent that's forced to listen to Moana all the time. Actually, speaking of Moana, in Hawaii and other southern Pacific islands, they eat tons of coconut, right? The whole thing, they eat the coconut meat, the water, the oil, the milk from it, and with no known ill health effects from that. Important to note is that they are also typically not eating so much processed food too. So what is the lesson? What is the takeaway? This is a serving of fat. We should not be eating processed foods. And when considering a complete varied diet where you've got lean protein, other healthy fats, lots and lots of different colored vegetables and fruits, beans, nuts, seeds, legumes, you're drinking plenty of water, whether or not you want to include animal products in your diet, that's totally fine, but that shouldn't be the focus, right? Because we know that plants really are bringing us the magical stuff. So lots and lots of plants and less processed food, so real whole foods. When coconut oil is eaten in small quantities in that overall context, the latest and most reliable research shows that it is perfectly safe and even can promote some health. So, what do you guys like your coconut oil for? Does this change your mind about anything? I'm very curious to hear if you have questions or comments and what you think about the latest research. Jag, you want to say bye? Tell everybody, I'm sure we'll see them soon, right? All right, say bye. See you guys soon. See you later.